right? My boy from Brazil literally told me that he was banging chicks for free, by the way. And these same chicks were getting money from gringos overseas for rent, for cell phone bill, for all that. And they're laughing about that. They're laughing at you guys giving these chicks money while the local men are banging them for free.
Hey, Jamie Woods, we here to travel and motivate. No curry, we just trying to keep our minds in the golden state. We answer to nobody but the Lord, we control our fate. Too many things to see just to sit in a hole and bake. We growing, hey.
Why dating overseas could be the biggest mistake for American men, right? So here's what I'm going to say about that. I think it doesn't really get talked about enough in the travel space, where a lot of brothers are going to tell you, date overseas, date overseas, date overseas. And to an extent, yeah, you should date overseas, right? It's a phenomenal, great thing to do. They're not lying to you. They're not selling you a dream, right? There's a lot of good things that can come out of dating overseas, but there's a lot of bad things that can come out of dating overseas. Dating overseas is not a good idea for those people who have no control. So if you have no control, you should not be dating overseas. All right. So I'm going to go over what I mean by that. All right. So if you have no control over your inner thoughts and your temptations, you should not be dating overseas. So for example, when you go overseas, you're going to see all these beautiful women out there, right? These stunning women, and you want to try them all out. You want to date all of them, right? You can literally fall into a trap doing that, because the thing is, if you have no self-control, it will lead to your demise. And that's what a lot of brothers don't mention about dating overseas, is that while dating overseas is such an adrenaline rush, is such a great thing, it can also be the worst thing that can happen to you. Because if you have no self-control, no mental strength, it will destroy you. And I've seen many brothers get destroyed over it, right? Where they become addicted or addicted to that lifestyle, obsessed with that lifestyle, where they're always taking like flights every other month to go to Medellin, to go to Thailand, Philippines, Brazil, wherever, right? They're literally going there every other month, spending hella bread, dating a ton of women, spending hella bread. Because even though the cost of living is cheaper, I know some brothers that go the extra mile overseas and they'll start spending hella bread because they can, because they feel rich, right? So that's another problem with dating overseas and traveling overseas, is that it gives you this like invincible mindset where you feel like you're invincible because you're making US dollar and you're making much more money than most of the people in that country are making. So because of that, you're going to feel the need to splash your money everywhere. All right. So that's bad, because that's bad for your bank account, right? Because you got to save as much money as you can. You got to invest, right? You can't always be spending. And you're more, if you have no control over yourselves, this can lead to your demise, because your bank account going to end up being negative after a while. If you continue to do that type of shit, you're going to end up being literally broke, right? You're going to end up literally meeting a girl that's a chapeadora, that's a gold digger, that's going to take advantage of you and milk you dry if you have no self-control over yourself, right? If you have no self-control over yourself and you're splashing money like this overseas, you're more likely to become a target of a crime. Like I told you before, when you're overseas, don't be wearing chains. Don't be having your phone like that all the time, and don't be splashing money. I know brothers that be going to the club that be splashing money like they're at the strip club, and then they get surprised when they get drugged, they get robbed, or even worse than that, deleted. And it's because you're making yourself a target. You're splashing all this money around like nothing. In countries like this, money is everything. People are struggling. If you think that the people in the hood here in America, if you think that they're poor, that's nothing compared to the people in the favelas in Rio de Janeiro, right? Those people are actually struggling. You know what I mean? Those people are dealing with terrible, terrible, terrible things on a daily basis. And they're willing to do whatever it takes to get themselves out of that position. So if that means robbing you, drugging you, whatever the case is, they will do it, right? Now, I'm not saying just Brazil, and Brazil is not really known to be drugging people, right? That's really other countries. But I'm using that as an example. But this can happen to you anywhere you go, right? All right. So if you have no control over your temptations or your inner thoughts, if you have no control over your pockets, that's another thing. Another one I want to go over is if you have no control over your anger. So if you have no control over your anger, do not go overseas, because trust me, someone's going to test you overseas, whether it's a chick or a dude, but most likely a chick. So what happened with the brother that I was telling you guys about? This guy, pretty much everything that I have listed down on this sticky note right now, he had no control over, right? So there's one guy, I forgot his name, but Andre, shout out to you, Andre. But Andre, I don't know if you know the story about that one guy that he was dating a girl, Medellin, and he was giving her money every single month. He ended up finding out that she was cheating on him, and he ended up deleting her and carrying her out in his luggage. He put her in the luggage, stuffed her in there, and dragged her out in his luggage, and nobody even knew about it till later. This individual should never have been traveling, because one, he had no control over his temptations, right? No control over his pockets. He's out here giving money to these chicks that don't give a fuck about him. She's out here cheating on him, and he's over here giving her money. And when he ended up finding out, he got mad. He had no control over his anger, went to a whole foreign country, did what he did, and made us American men look bad. This is a brother that should have not been traveling. Another thing is you have to have control over, you know what, down there, you know, your mini-me. You have to have control over that. That goes back to the temptations, really, is you have to have control. You see all these amazing, beautiful women overseas. And if you're not like smart, if you have no self-control, they're going to get the best out of you. They're going to get whatever they need out of you. They're going to understand how desperate you are for the coochie, for the box, and they're going to take advantage of that. Maybe they might give you a little something here and there to keep getting more and more out of you, right? That's the intentions. That's what they're trying to do. But if you have no control over you, you know what? You're going to catch a disease, right? Which is what some brothers have gone through. They catch diseases overseas, right? They're over here raw dogging these chicks, which I don't recommend you guys do. Always strap up. You don't know what these girls got, man. Always strap up. I know it's difficult. I know some of them might tell you otherwise. Like, hey, listen, I'm clean. Let's do this. Bro, do not. Because one, you can catch a STD. Number two, you might get the girl preggo. And if you don't even know her like that and you got her preggo and you end up finding out that this chick is ass, that this chick is no good, now you're stuck with her. Now you're the baby father forever. You know what I mean? And good luck trying to tell this girl to abort the kid. She ain't gonna do that. So be careful with your ding-a-ling, right? Don't think with your ding-a-ling, think with this, right? That's the whole point of this. If you have no control over any of these things that just listed, so let's go over that again. The temptations and your ding-a-ling kind of go along together, right? I know I call it ding-a-ling, it's a little funny, but it's you guys know what I mean, right? Because sometimes when we're in the heat of the moment, we see a spicy senorita, we just want to give into our inner thoughts. Right. And it ends up getting us into bad situations. This is how a lot of these men get drugged and deleted in Medellin, because it is the very same thing I'm talking about. This is how men, like the guy I was telling you about, start dishing out money, right? Which is the next one, actually. So over your pockets. This is how men get into these traps where they're giving these girls money every month for whatever reason that they need. And they out here getting with the local men, right? My boy from Brazil literally told me that he was banging chicks for free, by the way. And these same chicks were getting money from gringos overseas for rent, for cell phone bill, for all that. And they're laughing about that. They're laughing at you guys giving these chicks money while the local men are banging them for free. And then you're going to feel some type of way about that when you find out. So don't put yourself in a situation. Make sure you vet these girls. Make sure you get to know what type of girl you're dealing with before you're giving out this money. Stop giving into, oh my God, she looks good. Oh my God, the sex game is good. That's not enough to be giving out your resources like that. You might as well just do P for P. That's why I'm not so like against P for P. You know what I mean? I'm not against P for P, because the thing is, like, you know, you cut straight to the point. You get what you want and you cut straight to the point. Sometimes it's actually more affordable than you actually dating a chick. Now, I'm not encouraging brothers to do that. I'm not promoting it, but I'm just saying that we need to stop this whole culture of anti-P for P. P for P is bad. It's the devil. Bro, it's legal in these countries. It's legal in Brazil. It's legal in Colombia. It's legal in a lot of other countries. So why is it really a problem? Local men of those countries have been abusing and using this for years before us passport bros and us brothers started doing this in these countries. These systems, the P for P stuff in these countries, were made for those local men. And those same local men are pissed off at us because we're taking advantage of this and spiking up the prices. So if those men have been doing it for so many years, why are we so anti-P for P? Especially when a lot of the people in this community, right? So let me just not say a lot. Let me back up a little bit. We'll say some brothers. in this community are doing those very same things behind the scenes and acting like they're not doing it. At least P for P, you know what you're getting yourself into. You give her a set, you pay her what you got to pay her, and that's it. You're not getting used. You're still getting what you need out of it. She's getting what she need out of it, and that's that. But some of you brothers are out here anti-P for P, and you're out here giving all these girls, you're over here giving these girls all your resources, giving them $300-$500 every single month. You haven't even tasted the coochie yet. You haven't even gotten a lick of the box yet. You're over here giving this girl all this bread every month, but you're anti-P for P. And then when you end up finding out that this girl wasn't the one for you, that she was out here cheating you with the local men, you get mad. You know what I mean? Like, first of all, stop with the anti-P for P. And then on top of that, start vetting these chicks. Stop giving into your temptations. Stop thinking with the other head and think with the right head, right? Start having more control, more self-control over yourself when you're dating overseas, because you're going to end up getting yourself into situations where it could lead to your demise. You can end up getting deleted. You can end up catching a disease. You can end up being broke overseas, which is one of the worst things. You don't want to end up being broke overseas. You can end up getting robbed. Just stop. Have more self-control. That's why I tell ya, while dating overseas is a fantastic thing, it can also be a terrible thing. It could be the biggest mistake you can make as an American person if you have no self-control. You know what I mean? So this wasn't a way for me to tell y'all not to date overseas. I actually want you guys to date overseas, but I want you guys to be mentally prepared to date overseas, because it's not for everybody. Some people can't handle this. They get a taste of these women overseas and they go lost. They go lost in the sauce, spending all this bread, raw dogging these chicks, putting themselves in dangerous situations where they might not come back from it. That could be the end of you. It could be your demise.